Hello, everybody out there watching, whether you are an athlete, a coach, a parent, whatever reason you're watching for, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. So what this video is going to cover is, first I'm going to introduce myself, tell you guys a little bit about who I am, what it is that I do, and why I do it. And then secondly, I'm going to discuss something that helped me in my own athletic career, and hopefully you guys can take a bit and pieces of what I learned and immediately apply it to maybe a sport you play, or as a parent, something you can help with your kids as well. So first off, my name is Eric Stevenson. You can call me Coach Eric. You can call me Coach whatever you feel most comfortable with. And I am a sports psychology consultant, a certified mental performance coach, whatever it may be, and I love working with athletes on the mental side of sports. Reason being because personally, I needed it more than anything. I was a collegiate baseball player here in the Chicagoland area, and as an athlete going into college, I was pretty confident individual, pretty confident player. But unfortunately, as it happens in sports, I struggled, and I struggled not only physically, but I struggled mentally as well, and I lost a lot of confidence, lost a lot of my focus, and it was a tough time. So I worked with a sports psych consultant and kind of worked on a couple things in my game, and before I knew it, my whole career turned around, and it was like an aha moment. And I didn't love the sport. I love the sport more than I ever did before. I was happier playing. My performance was through the roof. I couldn't be happier. So this is the reason why I chose to take this career path and to help athletes like yourself, like myself, the parents, coaches, whoever you guys are, on how to perform better, what you can do today, what you can do in the future, what you could learn from your past, and how to perform better on a more consistent basis. So what I did for you guys today is I thought of five things that I used personally with myself and with my coach, 5 things that I applied to my baseball game and to my performance. And these are 5 things that can translate over all sports, no matter what sport you're in. This could be for athletes as well, coaches, anything you guys can take away. But these were my 5 biggest things that I noticed I needed to make a change in order to change around the way my performance was going. So sit back and hopefully you guys enjoy this and we're able to learn a couple things as we go. Number 1, and I'm sure a lot of you are going to be able to relate to this, is confidence. Confidence is a big one. It's a big one to have. It's very important, but also it's very one to get. And it's very difficult to also keep it when you have it, because it's very easily to lose, as some of you may be aware of already. So I struggle with confidence because I use confidence, and confidence for me was directly related to my performance. So for instance, when I performed better, my confidence would go up, and vice versa, when I didn't perform so great, my confidence went down. So it's almost like a cycle, because my confidence, my performance would go down, so my confidence would go down with it. And it's hard to perform well when your confidence is low, so my performance would still go down, and my confidence would continue to go down, almost to the point where I had almost no confidence at all, and there was almost no way I was going to perform well without having any confidence. So what did I do to kind of change that, reverse that around? Okay, so first thing I did, and all these things are going to sound kind of maybe silly to you, but they're very important and they're very difficult. And the best athletes in the world, whether professional level, collegiate level, they all do these things because they know how important having confidence and these other things I'm going to mention are. So the first thing I had to change was my body language. Right? I know maybe parents have gotten on their kids for saying, talking about body language, and parents, you could be just as bad too, showing it in the stands, on the sideline, whatever it may be. We're all guilty of it to some degree. But my body language was poor. I would strike out, I would get out, I'd make an error on the field, my head would go down, my shoulders would slump, I would, kind of mumble under my breath, I was just shaking my head, just a real kind of unconfident, distraught looking individual, right? So what I learned to do was no matter what happens, no matter if I make a great play, no matter if I'm not playing so great, to always walk with a positive, confident body language, right? The head up, the chest out, kind of a pep in your step, so to speak. And if you haven't tried this yet, give it a try, because at first it might feel a little weird, but over time it actually will kind of correlate to you becoming more confident, right? If you look confident and feel confident, you kind of play confident. So give that a try as well. The second thing for me was self-talk. I was very difficult on myself, very hard on myself. If I was playing poorly, I would say, you stink, you're not playing well, like what's wrong with you? Like, get out of your own head, get out of your way, you're better than this, whatever. Just really difficult on myself, right? And as athletes, if for those of you paying attention, we don't want to hear our coaches or our parents be hard on us and give us negative criticism, but yet we tend to do it to ourselves all too often, right? So if we're going to have a positive voice in our ear and we want that positive voice, it's going to have to start with us. We're going to have to be that positive voice, right? Keeping us on track, keeping us on pace, and keeping us confident, right? Say, it's okay, you got this, you can do this next time, just breathe, okay, we're going to get through this. Okay, so number 2 in the 5 things is letting go. And by letting go, I mean letting go of that fear of failure, letting go of letting down yourself, letting down your parents, letting down your coach, your teammates, whatever it may be, right? So how do we kind of let go of that stress and anxiety of performing well to make others happy or even ourselves? This was very difficult for me because I wanted to prove to my teammates that I do belong and I am good and I do work hard, and I wanted to prove to my parents that it's worth it, and prove to my coach that I should be playing, and all this, that when I didn't perform well, and I almost felt like I let everybody down, and that brought myself down. So what I did, and what I learned to do, was the first thing was I had to ask myself, okay, Eric, what are you really stressing out about? Like, are these individuals not going to be your friends anymore if you fail? Are your parents not going to love you anymore? Yeah, that's right. When I was a 21-year-old college baseball player, and I was still worrying about or my parent, trying to impress my parents, and just like I did when I was 12 years old. Ask yourself that question, and you'd be kind of surprised what you might find, and really kind of evaluate where you're at with that. And the second thing I did was talk to those individuals, right? Talk to your parents, talk to your coaches, or maybe yourself, and say, I'm not going to be at my best all the time, but just know that I'm putting it out there every time. I'm trying to perform at my best, and I'm doing what I can. And when those individuals know kind of that you're always giving it your best and you're always trying to perform, and when you start asking yourself those questions, you might be surprised, find it a little bit easier to kind of let go of that stress, of fear and of failure. So give it a try. Okay, so the third thing which I learned and which really helped me, especially on the performance side, whether that be on the field, on the court, whatever arena you might be in, was focusing on the process. Okay, so a good example for this, which I learned was, I was really results focused, really results driven. Every time I stepped up into the batter's box, I wanted to get a home run, I wanted to get a base hit, make everybody happy, win the game, whatever it may be. And I found myself thinking about that while I'm playing, thinking, I need to get a hit, I have to get a hit, I have to perform well, I have to do this, when rarely that actually worked that way, right? So rather than thinking about the result, rather than thinking about performing really well or how you're going to perform well, you have to think, okay, what is it that I do when I do perform well, okay? So I thought about this question. I said, Eric, what do you do when you're hitting really well? And I said, okay, this is, I'm thinking to hit the ball right up the middle. I'm thinking about taking a deep breath. I'm thinking about those things. So, but then when I do those, when I know that's what helps me perform the best, I found it funny because those are the things I rarely did when I was up there, because I'd be stressing so much about the performance that I wouldn't even take the time to think, okay, well, what do you even need to do to perform well? So focus on the process, right? Whatever it is, whatever the small things that you do to kind of help you perform at your best, whether focusing on your feet, focusing on your breath, focusing on a certain task that you do, or just focus on that, because that's what you can control, right? And this is something I might talk about a little later, but focus on that and just let the rest happen, right? If you're focusing on the results, you're in the wrong place. If you're looking backward about what you did last time, you're in the wrong place, right? Just think about, okay, what can I do right now to perform at my best, and how do I do it? And just stick to that and focus on that and see where it goes. Okay, number 4, and this is a fun one, and kind of a funny one as well, is to relax, right? Just settle down. And this could be tough. Athletes, you know what I'm talking about. Parents, you really know what I'm talking about. But sports it can be so competitive, and it is, and it should be. But sometimes we let that competitive side of us just kind of get almost carried away a little bit, and really kind of harness us, make us tight, make us angry, whatever it is, because we just get so tight. We want that result, we want that win, we want to perform at our best, that it just doesn't happen. And it's tough, and it's funny because it's hard. And when top athletes, Olympic athletes, are asked after a great performance, they say, okay, well, what were you thinking about during that performance? And almost all of them, when you hear their answer, is, well, nothing really. I just kind of practiced and knew what I wanted to do, and just kind of let it happen, right? Just kind of let the results happen, and so be it. But how often do we actually let something happen? Not very often, right? We're trying to force it. We're trying to force the results. We're trying to, when I hear coaches say, or parents say, just, oh, try harder or do this, it's really difficult to kind of try harder when a lot of sports actually work the best when we're not really trying our hardest. We're just kind of letting it happen as it goes. So think about that, right? How do we breathing is a great exercise for relaxing, using visualization, visualizing success, how you're going to do it, and then just kind of having a plan, right? As long as you're sticking to that plan and you're not worried about anything else, it's a lot easier to relax and to perform better as well. All right, so the 5th and final thing, and what helped me become the best athlete, best version of myself, and this one's real simple, but honestly, looking at everything up to this point, this one could be the most important. And I know you've all heard this before, but for me, it was having fun, right? And I know a lot of you out there are super competitive. You put a lot of time into this, a lot of energy, and it's about winning. It's about performing at your best. But it's hard to win, and it's hard to have those results if you're not having fun to begin with. So 3 questions I had to ask myself, and it was kind of shocking and how much this really gave me a different perspective on baseball and my love for the game. So number 1 is, why did I start participating to begin with, right? What was it that got me into the game? Was it the relationship with my dad, my brother, my friends at the park? What my earliest memories of having fun, playing baseball, just for fun with guys in the backyard. And that was fun to think about and to really to take in. And number 2 was, what is it that I love about the game, right? What is it? The competition? Is it the practice? Is it getting better, a little bit better every day, pushing myself? Whatever it may be, right? It's, ask yourself, what do you love about the sport you do? Like, why did you do it, and why do you continue to do it? And really think about that, and take the time to understand what you love so much about the game, because it might be fun for what you find. And number 3, the last thing is what has the game, what has the sport, what has whatever it is you do, what is it giving you in return, right? Where I thought about this, and I was asked this question. I thought, well, all my best friends were on my teams in the past, and it taught me how to be competitive. It taught me how to overcome failure, how to deal with fear, all the great things that your game, that your sport can really give back in return. Ask those things, and then it might be a little bit easier to love that game, and to kind of be a little bit easier on yourself, and in turn perform better. My goal here is to help you as much as I possibly can, give you guys all the information I know, find out how can we make ourselves better as athletes, as people, as parents, coaches, whatever it may be. So again, thank you for taking the time to check out this video, and hopefully looking forward to giving you guys some more information in the near future.